Well, hello to all you guys on the YouTube channel, all model builders. This is my next video after finishing the Toyota starter truck diorama. I was rumbling through my stash and looking for my next project. I have a real soft spot for the old Airfix kit, and when I was digging through my stash, I came up with this one, the Dodge command car in 1:35 scale. As the box states, the US Army 3/4 ton command and reconnaissance car of World War II, complete with a 250-gallon water trailer and a crew of 3. It also states new on the box. Looking through the contents, it is quite old, really old. The instruction sheet is one huge piece of paper. I'll hold the camera back to give you an idea. Instructions are simple, quite clear. There's also a color chart on the back of it. Paper has turned a bit yellowish through the years, but the guy who owned this kit before me, I bought it from him on a regional meeting in our province. And the plastic states, I hope the camera picks it up. Hold on, there we go. Airfix products 1975, made in England. I was born in 1969, so the kid is just 6 years younger than I am. I started to build models for real when I was 18, and of course as a child I built some things, quite simple things. I think I was between 10 and 13 years. But after my 13th I lost interest again and started doing other things, play with other toys, etc. Quite a simple kit, looks good. I just checked the box and all the contents which should be in it are really in it. What I came up in a plastic bag, hold on, I'll get all the parts out. This is a small sprue with one of the figures in it. Not too bad. I know all figure builders will probably disagree and say, well, this is rubbish, but from my point of view they look quite good, especially concerning their age. There are a few pieces which were missing from the sprues, and in the bottom of the box there is a small plastic bag containing those parts, and in it is a couple of brass and another metal piece which looks like it could be used as an axle or whatever. Hold on, I'll get the instructions out again. When I was reading the instructions for the first time, I saw that when you build up the first couple of steps, if you look at picture number 1, it states metal axle, oder Metallachse in German. In picture number 2, same thing, metal axle. So I think the guy edited, or perhaps it was added originally from Airfix, but I'm not sure. Anyway, it's handy. It has already been added, so this will be my next build. Okay, so after I think 30 to 40 minutes into the build, this is what the first parts look like. I already told you these first parts needed a axle according to the building sheet which is the instructions. As you see, this is just a simple piece of brass rod which you can slide through the front and rear axle of the truck. If you look careful, and you can see it still move. I built up the winch, which consists of only 3 parts. To make it a bit more realistic, I wound up some copper thread, 3 small strands wound together in my Dremel, and then after painting I think they can pass for a towing cable. I also did some work on the chassis, which as you see it lying on the table consists also of 3 parts, which is the chassis itself, the fuel tank, the upper half of it, or the lower half, and the front frame member. Okay, so another hour into the build, and then this is the result. The chassis, axles went on, all the drive shafts, the exhaust, part of the gearbox, the drive assembly to the winch, which didn't fit, so made a small modification. Next part is the hood, the dashboard in it, the front fenders, the radiator, which needed a little filling, the radiator guard went on, and then next bit, according to the assembly sheet, would be part of the interior with 2 seats, which are actually very nice. The seats are made up of an outer part and the cushions in it, and then the assembly calls out for these parts E1 and E2. So, in all my fun and happiness, I took out sprue number E and looked all over it, and no part E2 and E1 to be found. Or at least these are parts E1 and E2, which are considerably bigger than what the drawing says. E1, E2, tiny pieces. E1, E2, giant sides. So, what's wrong? Believe it or not, I've been scratching my head for at least 1.5 hours, looking all over, looking all reference on the internet, when I finally came to the conclusion that when I looked on the box, or at least on the side of the box, the big parts E1 and E2 would be right. So, hold on. On the box it states clearly Dutch command car. And after scratching my already bald head, this is what the instruction sheet reads. Okay, so after resetting all the fuses in my head, which had been blown by now, I came to the conclusion that the instruction sheet was wrong. Looked one up on the internet for the same item as the box says, Dutch command car, and hey presto, the interior looks quite a bit different. And those are the parts which I actually have, or what this bit looks like. So, never thought this would be wrong. Anyway, this is what I bought it from the guy on our regional meeting. So he must have both boxes and must have swapped the instruction sheet. So it kind of slowed me down, but I'm gonna pick up the pace, and I'll hope to show you some progress within the next couple of days. Until then, bye bye.